Hi, it's the last day today of the Red Serpent Spiral, and it's Wednesday, the 6th of November 2019. So here we are. We've only got another 3 days to go until we get to the end of this 20-day cycle, and then we'll be there in the alchemy point of yellow sun. So tomorrow we go into white mirror wave spell, and then we can see ourselves reflected back for the next 13 days as to where we are on our own personal evolution. The day of the shift, that's the day 13. So you have 12 steps, and then the 13th day you can make a shift based on what you've experienced, what you've learned in the previous 12 days. For me, it's one of my castles, Red Earth. It's my awakening castle, and it was in 1995 when I became a mother for the first time, and I was doing my Saturn return at the age of 30. So huge shift for me at that time because of everything that I experienced in becoming a mother. And becoming a mother, actually giving birth to another human being, is the most huge gateway of everything that has gone before is turned on its head once you become a mother. It's a real passage in terms of every single thing, how it changes your body, how your body takes over, how your mind has no control over it, your body just does its own thing. And however busy you've been, however tired you've been before doing whatever work you've been doing, there's no comparison to when you have a newborn child and how it changes your life, just around sleep, around not being able to do anything that you thought before. And I think for most women, the pain of what happens to their body as well, the trauma of birth, that most women never heal and carry throughout life. This is one of the biggest secrets, really, one of the biggest pains, one of the biggest wounds. So if you're still feeling pain in your body, if you haven't done some healing work on this, on your birth process with your child, on your own birth process, it's really, really key place to do some deep work, especially with EFT, to really get to what you're still holding in your body. And remembering that until we clear that, this energy keeps creating. So once we really grasp this concept on a very deep level, we understand everything about planet Earth, why we're here, the whole concept of projection, the fact that we're here to learn how to consciously create, and we're here to embody the experience. That's why we have all these parameters. Once we really, really get that concept, it really does help with the healing process as well, because it gives huge acceptance around people just do what they know. People just project their past story over and over and over until they understand, until they awaken, really, basically. Until they awaken, that's one level. But as you can see with the castles, there are several levels to go through, and it's a spiral, and you keep going through them. And as long as you have the intention to heal and open your heart, we are always supported in this process, because it's what we came here for at this time. And I haven't watched this movie yet, but there's an amazing movie and a series just started today that you can access time of the sixth sun. So if you just Google that, I put it on my Facebook page and you can watch it for free. And like I say, I don't know what it's about, but it looks good. It looks as though it's going to talk about all the prophecy to do with the Mayan dream spell and ancient knowledge and what this time is all about. And I think that is crucial for human beings to actually understand that there is a process going on, that there is a point to this, that there is a reason for this, that we've had to go through this really dark time, this shadow time, in order to understand what happens when a human being has created a wounded way of looking at the world, a distorted way of looking at the world based on past experiences over many, many lifetimes, and gets stuck in it and doesn't move forward, because you cannot move forward just using your logical mind at all. Once you understand this process, it will all make sense to you, but it's not out there in general awareness. It's not taught in schools. It is time for the emotional evolution. It's time to understand how the projector works of our emotional mind, our amygdala. And it's all there in ancient mystery schools. It's all there on the walls of the pyramids, to do with the eye, and where that actually is located in the brain, the hippocampus. There's loads on my blog about this if you care to look, flowwithjo.com. There's loads there out on the internet, and it's an amazing revelation, which doesn't make it any the less painful for what most people are experiencing now at this tail end of what is coming to light. So Red Earth today is a mastery teaching. It's about Uranus, the light bringer, bringing awareness, Uranus being the lord of the universe, if you like, the energy, the archetype that creates new ways, and is linked to Aquarius. So again, Google all about that. Just put something in the search engine, and remembering that each person has their own unique cosmic cookie trail. And literally now, because we've got cookies on the computer which are mapping our every move on the World Wide Web, so that it can direct us to things on one level, so it can filter our choices and allegedly be helpful. Let's say, like predictive text can be helpful and can also be a pain as well. So has another agenda to sell things, to know things about us as well, and to be used in a dark way if in the hands of people who want to use it in that way. So this is all a really key time now, and really a time to prepare for the next stage, the next 13 days. So I'm just going to look at where we're at on the moon. Not looked today so far. So 9 p.m. nearly. Okay, so we've gone into Pisces now. We're just leaving the age of Pisces behind. Again, this is around deep sensitivity, Christ consciousness, getting clear of all our addictions, our coping mechanisms, so that we can see clearly. The next 13 days is going to be about the sword of truth, white mirror, and the planet with white mirror is Neptune, so getting clear of our illusions and delusions. So the only way that we can access deep esoterica is to get clear. If we're still doing behaviors that are childlike, that are hurtful to us, that are distorted, that take the parental control button off, that somehow make life seem better, rose-tinted glasses, take the edge off, it's like time to stop doing that, because whilst we're in that place of trying to make things look better than they actually are, then we don't move forward at that point. We tend to stay stuck. And the problem with a lot of these coping mechanisms is that they create huge illness for the human being. And again, we're working our way through the 7 deadlies. So it's remembering that the 7 deadlies are the deadly sins, of course, are also connected to the 7 mastery, the solar seals, I call them, which is the 7 mastery Mayan signs. And each one of those is about truth, actually. So when we say about sins is about a mission, really. It's about what needs to be left out. It's good, sensible hygiene. It's good, sensible ways of relating to other people, and good ways of relating to ourselves, of course, primarily. So when we engage in what are called the 7 sins, we really come unstuck, because what comes from that, the karmic outcome from that, is really not good for anybody. Okay, so I'm just looking up inside degrees for Pisces at 10 degrees. So this is aqua or fire.net. An old witch on a windy promontory, she is calling to the sea, wildly tuned in, staggeringly aware of the overall situation and its call. You respond deeply and with earnest, plaintive engagement with all that is happening. You are profoundly emotional, physical, and personal, in order to ground and focus a vaster attunement, urgently and critically mobilized at hotspots. Assigned to tune into everything and make sure all the cosmic bases are covered, inner planes activity predominates. You live within vast worlds and are psychically charged with all that is being taken in. But your central focus is to respond, to report, to send the inner messages, to keep the lines open. Emergency and crisis sensibility inside of things, searching for signs and knowing how to be there on the spot to turn things around by inward force of the magical will. And that is what it's all about. It's about the inner work. It's about working with the inside, not looking for our answers outside. We have all the answers we need. That's what Red Moon is all about. The Red Moon cycle that we've just completed, the 13-year cycle on the planet, is all about, we have everything seeded within us. We have all the answers. And people think I'm a bit strange at times because I focus on the pathology, and I always have, because I'm a shadow worker. But the pathology is where it's at. The dark side, the forensic psychology. We want to understand what has created people in our society who want to hurt other human beings. We need to understand it so we can stop it happening. And that's, again, within ourselves. We need to understand what has created a pathology in us, a wound, either mentally, emotionally, or it's gone further into physical. We want to understand that. We don't want to mask it. We don't want to suppress the symptoms by taking stuff that just pushes it underground. This is what antidepressants do. It's like putting a bandage, a plaster a band-aid on a huge open wound. It doesn't work, you know, and then whenever we keep suppressing things, they have to get louder and louder for us to hear them, to pay attention. So it's time to stop doing that now and really address what's going on within us, what's going on within our society, so that we can stop doing it. And as much as the child part of us that isn't mature yet likes doing certain things that are really unhealthy, you know, it is madness, really. When we have children and they're small, we don't want them to get hurt. We want to protect them. We don't want them to have things that are going to do damage to their bodies, for example. And yet, every day people are giving their kids sweets. They're getting them on a sugar addiction. And I'm no different to anybody else. I've watched and known what things do to my family, to friends. I've watched people drink themselves to death. And, you know, a lot of my friends have died. And yet I drank for a long time. I don't drink now. Part of my process is working through my addictions. I still eat sugar. I still do things, unhealthy behaviours. And, you know, I'm not saying this is easy to do, but it is always a choice point. You know, whenever we're doing stuff, it is a choice point. We do know what isn't good for us. We do know what isn't good for the land, but often we have an excuse of why we need to keep doing it. And it's time to stop the excuses now. It's time to be really disciplined. This is what Saturn and Pluto in Capricorn is about. It's a wake-up call now. It's time to stop. And it isn't about what's out on planet Earth. Planet Earth can sort itself out. You know, again, this is such an egotistical approach about human beings somehow having power over planet Earth and all the beings on it, because they do not. This is about human beings focusing on themselves, because unless human beings heal themselves and heal these behaviors and mindsets that want to destroy other people, other beings, and the land, then nothing will change. That's something that I feel very strongly about. And I know most people do. So let's start at home with ourselves and really work on letting go of these abusive behaviours to ourselves and to others. So the card I got today is Dreamer and Dreamed, part of the Mayan Oracle sets. And again, there you go. There's a web, there's a holograph, there's a time tunnel, there's a cervix. We are always dreaming. We are thinking about the past, we are thinking about the future. And as we do that, we are consciously creating as part of the bigger web. And that's a really good point to remember, as part of the bigger web. So some people seem to have a belief that they can go beyond the script, the cosmic script, you know, that somehow they're more powerful than the divine. And I don't understand that. I really don't understand that, because we're all in this cosmic plan. It's already written. We've all got a part to play. What level we want to play on, that's the key. And Knight of Cups. So again, really key at this time. You can see the crab at the top. In the cup, beautiful card. And again, Eli for Thoth Tarot is a really, really good website to check this out on a deeper level, because it is very, very complex. But this is a spiral that we're in. We're in the Cancer spiral. That's when it began in Cancer sometime at the time of the summer solstice. So all about our home life, our nurturing, and how we are now at a point of healing those wounds and learning how to nurture ourselves. Cancer is, in the natural zodiac, is the 4th house. This is the structure of it all. It all begins when we're a child in our home. That's what sets the scene, that's the stage, and that's what we're going to be working with our whole life on some level. So the more that we understand that, we understand our patterns, the more that we can really work with them. Once you start really getting into the swing of this, you start to really understand and see it everywhere, and understand how, if you do have children, they are going to repeat your patterns in different ways, because that's how the universe works. That's how we evolve, is the next generation do the same thing in a slightly different way, in conjunction, in co-creation with a divine pattern. And again, once we really grasp this idea, we understand why this has to happen and why the wider world gets involved in our particular story. And we're all in this together, wherever we're at, whether people are awake or asleep. They're all part of this divine comedy that we're in. So it's just going with that. We can't control what's happened, we can't control what's going to happen, but we can make conscious choices every time we come into the same situation. So I hope you've had an amazing 13 days around relationship, and I hope you have managed to make some shifts in your life. And if you'd like any more info, please do get in touch with me, flowwithjo.com. I love to co-create with people. And as they say in the Mayan framework in Lakesh, I am another you, you are myself. We're attracted to each other because we've got the same patterns. And there's only 260 patterns if you go off the Mayan dream spell. Fascinating stuff. Lots of love. Bye for now.